Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Hocking Valley Community Hospital's 55 Ways to Being a Better Me in 2021. As you recall, last month, Katy Kudlapur joined us, helping to guide us in maybe ways to have optimal health for this year. And so this is part two of that. So, Katy, welcome back. And just go ahead and tell us what we need to do to get better.
Oh, Latricia, thank you. I'm glad to be live today with this meeting. And I thought maybe I should back up and introduce myself a little bit. I know that last month we got started with talking about creating your reasons why you might want to get healthy. So hopefully people have been able to put some thought to that and really thinking of it in a positive light and what they're wanting to create. So I actually, my name's Katy Kudlapur, and I'm from Logan. I graduated high school in Logan and went on to become a registered nurse and have been for many years. I've lived in Columbus and then Kentucky, but I moved back to Logan in 1994 and actually took a position at Hocking Valley Community Hospital as a nursing manager and was there as a unit manager for about 4 years. I stepped back when our first son was born and when then had another boy. So when our boys were in their preschool years, I started studying to become a certified diabetes educator. And then in 2001, I had the privilege of being able to help start that program there at Hocking Valley and with our dietitian. So worked in that until the end of 2016. And, as things go in life, I stepped back and really to pursue some other things and work directly with our church, our new church start at HHUMC. But in the midst of being an empty nester with the boys in college and juggling life, I myself had found myself putting on weight. I lacked energy. I had developed some stomach problems and was just really unhappy with my own health. But being the stubborn person that I am, just really wasn't seeking any help. I resonate with many people that I work with that happens. We just don't necessarily pursue help, even though we know that we need help. About that time in 2019, as the year turned into a new month in January, I spoke with a friend of mine who had made some changes in her health. And she actually offered to coach me for accountability. And I admit that at first I was skeptical, feeling like I should just be able to do this on my own. But because she was a friend of mine and I trusted her, I did start working with her within a structure and focused really in 6 main health areas. And I just took small steps in each area and found that it's been a huge turning point in my life. I'm really grateful for. I actually then, for just a little over a year, have been health coaching myself with people and seeing many people reach health goals, and that's been exciting. So that's kind of where I am today. I work with different people to help them reach the goals that they want to, and primarily within 6 different health areas and creating healthy habits.
That's awesome. Thank you for giving us an update. And we actually went to school together. So when she said she was a graduate of Logan High School, we actually graduated together. So it's been kind of nice and fun to come back around and do some programs together. So it was sad to see you leave when you left here, as a matter of fact. But back together, doing some health opportunities here for the community. So you mentioned 6 different pieces or parts to this. Is that where you want to go today to kind of talk about some of those? Or
Certainly. And like we talked last month, Latricia, when people start to think they need to make some changes in their health, Often we tend to want to get away from something. We want to, lose the weight or, get away from the way we feel. But it's really important to create what we want to become, because that will actually be a driving force to help us spur us on. So that becomes a fundamental change we want to work towards. And then we have a lot of secondary decisions to make to create that fundamental choice, that fundamental change. So 6 different areas, and I think that many people certainly will resonate with this, is habits areas around healthy weight management, habits of healthy eating and hydration, healthy sleep, healthy motion, habits of a healthy mind, and healthy surroundings. So in these 6 areas that all work together, but just like we don't eat an elephant one bite, one great bite, big bite, but small bites at a time. Where would you want to start? I will say that many times, and we'll be talking a little bit more about this in March, people are spurred to create change around their weight. And I admit for myself, I felt like I had gained weight and that really slugged my energy. I just didn't have the energy to do what I wanted to be doing. So it probably was my weight and my energy that spurred me into change. So when I think about that, I did go on to lose 22 pounds. It made a huge difference with my energy. So setting up a plan for healthy weight management and getting to where you want to be is important. It's important to reduce your risk for disease, and energy levels usually improve as we work towards our weight, as well as our blood sugar. Our blood sugar definitely improves when our weight management's more in check. And actually, even a 10% weight loss will help with our, not only our blood sugar, if that's a little on the pre-diabetic side, but it will help reduce our risk for disease by almost 50%, which is just absolutely huge. So then, you think about energy. Our sleep is also important, which we discount easily. There's many people that also struggle with sleep apnea. And there is testing and professionals to help work with more intense sleep problems. But there are some really basic things people can do for their sleep that will contribute to improved energy as well. I know that there at the hospital we have a sleep lab and are able to do outpatient sleep testing there at the hospital. And that's really great. But, just simple things like cooling, having your room be somewhat cool when you go to bed at night, having it dark, disconnecting from media and, the lights on your screen at least a half hour before you wind down. And then having a wind down time, if it's 10, 20, 30 minutes to kind of wind down, have a bedtime routine, that's important as well. And I will say it's helpful to cut that caffeine off in your day a little bit earlier. That can be different for different people. But I have found since I have lost my weight and I'm at a healthy weight now that I am more sensitive to caffeine. I like my morning coffee, but after that, if I have caffeine around lunchtime or after, I can expect to be a little bit, I need a little more extra wind down time at night, I guess. So, the healthy eating and hydration, that is something that we can probably add that into every part of this year, Latricia.
I'm sure we could.
Every,
I'm sure.
And there's a lot to that. I really am looking forward to our April episode of Hidden Grocery Store, and just talking about several key points when we're shopping, overarching. I
I
will tell you, there's not one magical plan that is going to help people in their eating, um, but it's important to find what works for you. And you look at what's out there, talk to people that you trust, bring your healthcare provider into that decision. And but there are certainly great studies out about healthy eating and what works. I know you are very healthy person, Latricia, and you have some great health habits as well. So I look forward to you sharing those. I think there's kind of a joke with nursing that the answer to most questions are eat more fruits and vegetables. So
and
our
but you would think that. And there was a time that I got caught up into that myself, not realizing that every fruit has its own natural sugar. That
exactly.
you, and you're just sitting here thinking that you're eating the right vegetables and the right fruits, but it, a glass of orange juice or a glass of this and it adds up before you know it. So it is a balance.
Yeah,
It is, and it can be tricky.
it is. I will say that not only looking into things yourself, looking at what works, but having someone in your life that you trust to help hold you accountable to your eating and healthy eating and in your hydration. Yes, fruits and vegetables are healthy, but actually, fruit juice, as much hype as it gets, it can have as much sugar as regular pop. So I'm a huge water drinker. I encourage drink water. Of course, you're not going to find anything wrong with drinking black coffee and unsweetened tea, because you don't have the calories in those, and they can offer a little boost early in your day.
Is there a trick though, Katie? Because I'll be honestly truthful, it's just hard for me to get a drink of water. I mean, I do, and I'm trying, but I hear lots of people just say I can't drink it, and they have to add those flavored things into it. And of course, I'm sure you're adding preservatives or something else that you don't need, but that can be tough when you're used to having a Mountain Dew, a Diet Coke, your 4 cups coffee that you had, just to start drinking plain water. How do you? I have two things I want to ask you. One, you talked about having someone make you accountable. What is it that that person has to actually do to help make you accountable? Are they calling and checking on you daily? Are you keeping a journal? But then how do you get your palate or whatever it is to like water, to just drink this water without something else, I guess,
Oh,
in it?
well, let's start with that. Because, for all facts and purposes, 64 ounces of water a day is usually a good goal. That is equivalent to about 4 bottles of water. So if someone is not a water drinker, then we aren't going to necessarily start there, but we can build up to it. And that is the beauty of developing healthy habits. So if we just start with replacing maybe one of those other drinks a day with some water, um, you know, kind of think, do you prefer it warm, or hot? My husband likes room temperature water. It drives me crazy because I like mine cold. But that's a good start. What goes well? Drinking at a certain temperature, and then maybe sipping it through the day rather than trying to take too much at one time. Um, and if you need to flavor it, um, we do look for natural flavorings. Stevia is one that is a good plant-based sweetener, that if you can find things that are sweetened with stevia. But the more that you just incorporate sipping on water and adding through the day, you can build up your water intake that way. Now, of course, if you're building up a water intake or any fluid increase in your day, you can expect to go to the bathroom more. So you've got to kind of factor that in as well. And I say this for people that aren't on fluid restrictions, because we have many people that for health reasons are on fluid restrictions. So that is something they'd want to talk to their healthcare provider about, what their limit is with their fluids. So I would just start where you're at, replacing some of those, especially if they're unhealthy drinks. I heard you say Mountain Dew. You know,
No,
we
that's
are,
not me. I'm not the guilty one. That my husband is the pop. I probably haven't had a pop in 20 years. Honestly, I haven't. But I'm sitting here looking at my water. I have applied myself. I have a bottle. I'm trying
Mhm.
here, but it would literally take me all day. This is just, if I don't have my tea, if I have my iced tea or whatever, I can drink, 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 drink. If this is all I do, this won't be gone in all day. It's just,
Okay.
you know what I mean? It's just,
Well, it's going to take some intentionality. And I love this example. So let's go back to your fundamental choice, your fundamental decision. If your fundamental decision is that you want to be a brighter, healthier version of yourself, you want to have energy, and let's just say that you are wanting to work some weight off. If that's the fundamental decision, then what are the secondary decisions that line up behind that? And being hydrated well, I can tell you for most health goals are going to line up behind that. So if that becomes a secondary decision that we say, okay, I'm going to create a habit. And to create the habit, let's just start with that one bottle. And you tell yourself, I like water, and I am going to have a fourth of that each hour. Because I'm big on self-affirmations also, Latricia, and you tell yourself positive things. It helps you to start forming your brain around that. And so, that you may find that within 4 hours you polish off that water, and then you're able to start another bottle, or you just keep adding it up. So I do suggest trying to replace drinks. Again, if you're looking at that fundamental choice or that fundamental decision, and then wanting to line your secondary decisions up, you may still say, or a person may still say, but I love my pop. And we have a client we're working with right now, and that's all he drinks. So for him, he has to say, but I love the idea of my weight loss and becoming a healthier father in this man's situation more than I love my Mountain Dew. And so I'm going to just replace one of those a day, or, and then until you get that replaced. Yeah, I'm a big advocate of working regular pop out of your life. It really does not serve anyone well, on a lot of lines there. So you ask about holding accountable. Yes, I think when you write down your goals, and if you keep even a daily, I like just a cheap notebook, and each day, making some notes about maybe how many hours did you sleep that night, and then what maybe you ate. If you're in the midst of change, if you're in the midst of making some changes, so that you can reflect on that. If someone's holding you accountable, they should ask you what your goals are, or help you come up with your goals, help you come up with some goals. Now, you don't have to take on all 6 of these areas at once, but they all are linked, and we should make a goal to start making some changes in 1 or 2, and then add those in as we conquer those. Now, the research shows that it takes 66 days to actually create a new habit, but there is a lot of magic that can happen in the first month. So don't be discouraged.
And does this person have to be a clinical person, or can this accountable person is just a friend?
Well, it should be someone that you like and trust, and that is going to give you sound advice. Now, like in my case, I work as a health coach with a structured program that's a physician-led program. I'm huge in keeping the healthcare provider involved, but they're not the ones that you're necessarily going to be calling at 7:30 at night when you're craving maybe that Mountain Dew, or you're craving something, some type of food that doesn't serve you well, or just down on your luck and really needing some encouragement. So a friend would be great, or a healthcare person that is willing to walk alongside you. I know that when I first got started, I also had my sister working on the plan with me. And so if you have a partner that is willing to work with you, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a good friend that is willing to help make changes in their life too. So you hold one another accountable. That's another great idea.
That's a great idea.
Um,
Yeah.
because our psyche can really talk us out of things when we're wanting to stay up and watch a late movie knowing that we have a big day the next day. Our psyche can say, yeah, let's do it, but is that really serving you well for your overall choice? I'll just round this around then. As far as a healthy mind really involves recognizing stressors in your life, recognizing maybe toxic people that speak negative into your life that maybe you need to spend less time with, or avoid altogether. And when I say avoid, I mean choose your environment and who you're around. And if that's a stressful, maybe your particular job right now is overly stressful, and think about maybe key reasons why your position is stressful, and can you have conversations or adapt your environment to make that healthier. So recognizing stress and then putting some action steps in place really helps for a healthy mind. And our surroundings contribute to all of this as well. If we have a cluttered surroundings, a cluttered household or office, that can be very depressing and anxiety producing. If our kitchen has a lot of foods that don't serve us well, sugary things, or maybe it is a mess, getting that back in order, taking some of those things out of the kitchen and maybe replacing them with some, fresher foods or healthier foods as you work into your plan. So also, I don't want to leave out people. Are the people that you spend, they say you become most like the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so when you think about that, are those people speaking positive things into your life? Do they encourage you? Do they respect your wishes and your goals? And if they don't, some people are family and we need to keep relationships with them. So having some conversations, but you can add people into your life as well. And if you have online groups that you interact with that line up with your goals and interests, or if you, and as we slowly are able to get out again and spend time with people in maybe different clubs or groups or organizations, or even at work, develop relationships that are positive, that support you. If you're married, do you have relationships that respect your marriage and help encourage you in your marriage, and are even friends as you as a couple? So in each of these areas, it's that, and we'll be expanding more this year when I'm with you, Latricia, and dealing with weight management and our healthy eating and hydration, healthy motion, in the way that we start to increase exercise. We don't get up off the couch and run a marathon, but there's a lot of steps in between that we can start by standing a little bit more, walking for distance more if if that works for your health. So healthy sleep, healthy mind, and healthy surroundings all are going to help lead us to optimal health. And I look forward to talking more with you
As do
as
I.
the year goes on.
Yes, this is going to be very good. I like the points that you've given, and I like the point that you said you're not going to be able to just run a marathon tomorrow. It
Right.
baby steps
Yes.
is a step forward, and anything is better than nothing. So very encouraging today. I appreciate your insight and the information that you've given us, and it's nice to see something that is attainable. It's reachable, and little habits that we all have. Disconnecting, that's tough. That's the world we live in. Everything around us is electronic, and there's nowhere you don't go where there isn't some sort of social media or some sort
Mhm.
of electronic device that you have to access, you have to use for something. So it's kind of just, it's like it's become part of our being. And so to just shut that down at 6 p.m. is going to take effort and structure on some people's parts.
Mm.
So,
Well, and it doesn't have to be just at 6 p.m.
right.
But if you're setting your bedtime, let's say you want to be sure you get 7 hours of sleep, so you're setting a bedtime, say at 10.
Mhm.
Maybe those final emails, those final posts, and all, trying to do that more around 9 or 9:30, and give yourself that last half hour to wind down. And
Right.
so,
Well, again, thank you. This has been very, very good, and I appreciate it again and look forward to next month. It'll be here before we know it.
yes, we sure will. Thanks, Latricia.
All right. Thanks, Katie. See you soon.